Hi, I'm Andy Mackey with the Diocese of Columbus and St. Mary Catholic Church. There is no saint without a past, no sinner without a future. And this is a quote from St. Augustine of Hippo. I wanted to talk a little bit about journeys, awe, and fear. Have you ever had a situation where it really feels like God is working? Now, I know that God is working all the time in the background and sometimes in the foreground of our lives, but have you ever had a moment where things begin to play out and you realize you're not in control? Does it feel a little scary? I know that there's situations where they say, keep calm, God has got this. I've had those situations. In fact, I've had those situations this summer a couple of times where things have started happening in my life, and I know that I'm being called or asked to do something outside of my comfort zone. I know that I'm doing something that God wants me to do. And sometimes he has to bop you on the head, and sometimes it comes to you in the ways of gentleness or a feeling of calm. Augustine experienced this. If you've ever read his life, read about his journey, his friendship with my patron saint, St. Ambrose, you'll see a man who was living. He was a living person. And he came upon someone, Ambrose, who presented him with truth. The interesting thing is that when Augustine was confronted with this, he had such an incredible mind. He started chewing with this. He started wrapping around this. He was trying to figure out what Ambrose is saying and what Augustine was learning and how they came together. And to his credit, he said yes. He said yes. He realized that the way he was going was not the way he was being called to do with the talents that were bestowed upon him. He said yes. And he gave it his all, and he became one of our great saints. He became a great writer and a great thinker of early Christianity. What I like to think about sometimes is part of my faith journey and how I came into the church. And I recently came into the church in April of 2019. I like to think about all those little moments in my life that led up to this. And I think about those moments now that I have with people going forward. I know there's a lot of times when you're having a conversation with somebody and you want to seal it right there. You want to seal that deal for them because you know what the fullness of faith looks like. You've experienced it in your everyday life. But sometimes God calls us to be a sign. God calls us to be an affirming nod. And sometimes we're the exit point. Sometimes we are the person that happens with. And that's how my life was. I wanted to be Catholic in the 7th grade. I had to wait until I was 35 years old. But now that I'm here, I get to see everything with a convert's eye. The Eucharist, the first time that I got to experience praying the rosary, the first time that I started to learn how to have conversations and pray for the needs of others. One of my favorite things to do whenever I'm leading a prayer is to always give thanks for the little things in my life that bring me so much joy, the beauty in the everyday world. We all know the story of Mother Teresa praying as she scrubbed toilets. I think about that whenever I'm doing dishes, how thankful I am for the food, how thankful I am to have these dishes. And in lesser ways, sometimes I'm prayerful about how thankful I am to have noise-canceling headphones or Cherry Coke Zero. So I would encourage you, as you see the world right now in different times than we've ever seen, think about all the little things you're thankful for, the little joys and comforts that you have. And think about Augustine. Think about how no saint is without a past and no sinner is without a future. And how we always have the opportunity to love. Because love is the beauty of the soul. Take care, be safe.